So, are we gonna talk about it? Obviously, we are, because it's all I've been recommended on YouTube for the past 2 weeks. Spider-Man Brand New Day finally came out, and oh boy, do I have some things to say. Quick disclaimer, this will have spoilers. If you do not wish to be spoiled, go watch the movie, then come back here. My overall rating for this movie was 10 out of 10. There were little to no moments in this movie where I was upset with the direction they had taken it. Of course, I was a bit upset that MJ and Peter didn't get back together, but that just gives them an excuse to make a fifth one, which I will be running, not walking, to see. Tom Holland keeps talking about passing on the torch, but maybe give it a bit more time. We still have things we need to do. One thing I really liked was that VMAX wasn't a huge weapon or something of that vein. We've honestly seen that trope so much in movies, and it was nice to add a little spin to it. Believe me, when I tell you I nearly screamed in the theater when Jean looked up at that vent, what a surreal moment. Speaking of Jean, I've seen some people shipping Peter and her, romantically, and I mean, that's a bit odd. Isn't she supposed to be a teenager, and he's supposed to be 21? That's kind of creepy. I personally saw their relationship as more of a brother-sister sort of thing. I hate to be that person who is in the comment section screaming that the people are siblings, but they both semi-recently lost really important members of their family, and then the movie was them being able to find strength and comfort in each other. It just seemed more platonic to me. But if you disagree, that's completely okay. Sadie Sink did such an incredible job. I loved her as Jean. I'm actually just starting to watch Stranger Things right now, and I am so excited to meet her character. I've heard great things. My favorite scene in the whole movie, without a doubt, was when Jean went inside Peter's head and Aunt May talked her down. You know Peter needed to hear that just as much as she did. And then the bit where they just sat in Peter's room in his head and talked for a bit, that was so nice. But of course, Peter got shot afterwards. But it was a nice moment while it lasted. Frank, the person who shot Peter, was incredible in this movie. Especially after seeing the actor in the press tour. They are like night and day. It really highlights what great actors they got for this movie, seeing the actors act so differently from their on-screen counterparts. Tom Holland and Zendaya were delights as usual. They did a great job staying true to their beloved characters. Yelena had so little screen time, but boy did she eat it up! I loved her office. I loved her calling out the fanfiction and fan art people. That was hilarious. I swear the people in my theater were laughing harder at that bit than any other point in the movie. I said a lot about what I did like, so let's talk about what I didn't like. To be honest, I liked most of it. My least favorite scene was the Peter-MJ kiss, because the problems, the sins, that is something I'm not sure I can forgive Jean for, even though she's an incredible character. What she was doing was incredibly wrong, and she knew it. Although Peter calling her a monster really reminded me of this scene in I Turned Epic, the musical, into a comedy. You know the one.
Well, Cersei said you were killed for spoiling Sonic 3, and I will do it again. You monster! No, that would be you. What? Rawr, rawr.
Yeah. So I do like that Peter told MJ that he had kissed her when Jean was her. I think it's a really decent, above-board thing to do. It helps them start their new friendship, acquaintanceship on completely honest terms. Especially since MJ couldn't give consent at all. She was unconscious for the entire thing. I've seen a lot of people talking about that specific scene and how Jean was using MJ and that was awful. But I haven't seen anyone talk about how wrong it was for her to do that to Peter. It's a bit weird. Everyone's like, oh, she did that to MJ and all this stuff. And I completely get that. But can you imagine kissing someone you truly love, with all your soul, only to hear them say stuff like, touch her? Not only would I feel like a horrible person, even though I hadn't done anything wrong, but also I would be having stress dreams about that happening again. when Peter and MJ are back together, he's going to have so much stress and anxiety about that. I wouldn't be surprised if the first time they actually kissed, he was thinking about that one time Jean possessed MJ. They were both definitely victims in this scenario. Jean, what in the world is wrong with you? Actually, we know what's wrong with you. That was the point of the movie. Even after I've said all this, I still think it was Peter's responsibility as the person who was conscious and present to tell MJ that it happened, so I really appreciate that they included this detail. I feel like a lot of movies would just forget or completely leave it out, so I really appreciate that. Okay, so if you couldn't tell from my last however many minutes of rambling, I enjoyed this movie a lot, and I think you should go see it. There are so many great moments. I didn't even get to talk about the Hulk fight or the Punisher and Spider-Man sort of bromance, but I don't want to take up too much time right now. I will be back to talk more. So the last thing I want to talk about is the bromance is back. Ned and Peter are besties again. They have been together since the beginning, even before MJ talked to them, even before Homecoming. Them coming back first is just makes perfect sense. Anyway, that's all my thoughts for now. I hope you have an amazing week. Please consider liking and subscribing if you enjoyed. Bye!